Good morning, everybody. It's Donald from Golf Central Daily, and I'm here to do my running course review as is becoming traditional. The 2016 Irish Open, and I'm on the first tee. And even being here, it brings back memories of Padraig Harrington and Monty walking down through the crowd at the 2006 Ryder Cup and the cheering, and then Darren Clarke and Lee Westwood. It was just fantastic. So let's have a look around the course. Probably mostly focus on the back nine, but I want to give you a look at the rough and the conditions of the greens as we go on as well. So off we go. There's the water on the first tee. Remember, Tiger Woods hit it in there in his first shot. Such was the pressure. Look at this for a beautiful morning. Who said this Irish Open is going to be wet? Third hole, beautiful little par 3. Kind of a nice tight second hole, but a nice kind of gentle opening. Guys will be getting warmed up by now.
Perfect.
It's stuck to the pin. Steve, you're back from injury, back in action.
All good. Beautiful week here. Just hope the weather stays like this.
Good to see you back. A little bit out of breath. Fourth hole, par 5. Just saw Stevie Webster hitting in there. He had 240 left. Hit it into the sun. There it is on the green. Excellent shot in. Shows you the par 5s are gettable this week. Okay, so now I'm on the 440 yard fifth hole, and I really want to have this is where the players should be warmed up. And when I play this course, and when I played the K Club many times, but I find this hole very tough. And I've come here to 290 yards from the tee. Now it's back into the breeze a little bit, but 290 from the tee. So the players might be hitting to here, just to have a look and see what the rough is like at around this yardage. Give you an indication of if it's heavy or not. So I'm going to switch the camera around, and as you can see, it's very playable. Let me just throw it down again. See where we get. A bit of dew on the ground, but you know, the rough is very light. These guys are going to really enjoy that. You know, at 290 yards, the rough is light. You could say that it's set up for a certain person, but definitely the long hitters, even if they miss the fairway, avoid some of the trees, but there's not that much hazards, and the fairways are wide. So now on the fifth hole, where they're warmed up, you can get a true indication of how the course is set up, and it's set up for low scoring and for big hitters, in my opinion. Here's the reason why I've never been successful on the fifth hole, because I lose balls out to the right. And what happens is, even if you hit a good shot and it's a little bit right here, let me throw this ball. It looks like as if it's going onto the green. It doesn't quite make it. Goes down that hill, and there's nothing to stop it. It just goes straight down into the rough. Let me run down and show you what it looks like from down here. That's a pretty tough up and down there. So time to look at the greens now, and they just look absolutely fantastic. They're just pristine. Let's roll a ball up the hill towards the pin. Not a bad roll, so true. So roll at the other side. And they're pretty fast. They're not overly fast, but they probably will cut them down as the tournament goes on. Only the really good ones come out this early.
Morning, how are you?
Good.
It's going to be rainy this week?
I think so. Hard to believe it now, but they say it will be.
Well, then it's even more a putting competition, because the greens will be softer. So I would think 15 under?
15 under?
Yeah.
3 under won it last time it was here. I absolutely love this hole. Look at the colour there. It's just gorgeous. That is the 7th hole, 430 yards. We'd call it the index one. It's a real toughie, but we play it from down there. But from back here, it is really a seriously tough hole. But those guys are just so good now. They bomb it off the trees on the left, fade it back in its fairway. No problem. Okay, behind me is where the water ends on that 7th hole, and just busheling back, one of the caddies on the tee is actually taking a bushel to me as we speak, doing the same thing. It's exactly 240 yards, so not that far, but back into the prevailing breeze. And if they get past the water, the fairway does open out a bit. It's kind of when you're playing it, it just looks so tight, and maybe I didn't realise it, but there is a bit of space down here, and they really have widened the fairways this week. You know, they're much wider than you'd expect them to be. 4, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 yards of fairway to hit into on the 7th hole. Now, if that isn't a wide fairway at the end of a tough drive, I don't know what is. A tough shot in, mind you, 165 yards into the wind. There's the drop zone sign right in front of the green. I wonder how many balls will be hit out of that area this week. The running tour has reached the 9th green and I'm beginning to perspire a little bit. The question for the 9th green is, are the greens soft or hard? So let's do a little test. Spin the camera around. I would say putting a ball down and just giving a little push. There is plenty of give on the greens. Absolutely perfect. Now if it rains, it'll just make it like target practice for the guys, because there is a little bit of give on the greens. They're not as hard as you might expect. Across the road, the 10T. 10T group's moving on to the first. They're practicing. How you doing? Say hi to the camera. There's the 10T up on the right. You know what I sense actually running down the 10th hole into this back nine? I sense the magic. I can feel the magic of the Ryder Cup. Let's go to some of those famous places, some of the scenes where a 2006 Ryder Cup was won. I can see Woozy back in the locker room, supping a pint of Guinness to relieve the nerves. Tom Lehman chewing on his cap. Where did it all go wrong? It's only a matter of time. 10 years ago it was. Hard to believe it. You're preparing for the rain with the raincoat on. It's not raining yet. It will be. See that? Wearing a raincoat and about 20 degrees of heat. But the boy can play. He's after stitching 2 chips to 4 foot from 100 yards. Maybe rain gear is the way forward. I think I've shamed him into taking it off now. T-shirts out. On we go, down the 11th. 12th hole, what a prize. BMW i8. Just for the simple task of knocking a ball 182 yards down there into the hole. Sure, anyone could do that. Are you going to win the car? Are you going to win the car? Of course. Okay. Well, definitely. There's Jorge Gamara. He's a famous caddy too. Look, they're just plotting out their attack to win the BMW i8. Had to take off the jacket myself. If you're seeing the boys, the rain gear. That was Ashen Wu there, plotting his way to winning the BMW i8. Jorge Gamara, caddy. He's been out here a long time. Nice guy, great Facebook page, puts loads of pictures of where he goes. He doesn't just go to the hotel, goes and explores when he visits the city. Good morning.
How are you?
What club did you play?
4 iron.
4 iron, same as Paul Casey when he got the hole in one. Well done. Now this one is pretty magical. The 14th hole. Think back to that 2006 Ryder Cup. I think it was the Saturday foursomes. Paul Casey, 213 yards, same place. Don't know if it was as downwind as it is today, but he hit a 4 iron. Woozy couldn't believe he hit a 4 iron from here into the hole. Kind of had a serious look. Put the hands up like this, celebrating. David Howell comes in for the big high five. It was just a moment of magic, and we kind of knew then this Ryder Cup was going to be ours. That's the 15th green behind me. Up here I want to show you something. This is a very famous spot. There's kind of a lot of confusion as to who won that Ryder Cup in 2006. I think it was Henrik Stenson right here on the 15th. He played Vaughn Taylor that day. Beat the pants off him, I think 5 and 4 or something like that. And here is where it ended. Well done, Henrik. Okay, we've got to the 16th hole and par 5, 570 yards. So if you think of it, 300 yard drive and 270 yard shot over water, very difficult proposition, especially if you know this hole, dog leg right, and very tough shot over water. But the caddies have all told me that in the Yardage book, There is provision made in the yardage book with yardages for the forward tee, so it's very possible that the tour will move the tee up, you know, to encourage the guys to go for it in two, and hopefully see more birdies and eagles, and especially on the 16th hole. You know, an eagle here could make all the difference, could win the tournament. Okay, down the 16th hole, just pushing on the back to the tee. It's 313 yards to here, and even then you've got, as you can see behind me, a very tough proposition to go for the green in two. Only the very brave will go for that one. It needs I don't know what it needs really. When you look at it, you know, half the green is covered by the trees. There's just trouble everywhere. I know Monty had pitch up with an 8-iron and pitch on and do it that way, but I bet you some of the guys will go for it this week. Listen carefully. Can you hear the roars? I can hear them. It's 10 years ago. 17th hole, 424 yards. It's a good few years since I played the K Club, but this tee is never in action, and you just kind of come up here for a look really, because you play from way down there about 50 yards on. What a spectacular drive that is. Imagine if you've just made eagle on the last hole. You come up here, stripe your drive, all psych birdie, and then a real birdie chance on the 18th. What a beautiful hole. Last hole, here it is. Par 5, 537 yards. And just through the bush along the trees in the distance there, they're going to cut the corner here for sure. Wind behind to that little wispy tree. 260 yards to those wispy trees there in the corner, the furthest one I can see. So the guys are going to fly it out over that, cut the corner miles down there, and they're going to go for the green into probably no need to move this tee anywhere. I think it's very gettable with today's equipment. Keep running, speed it up. I think I'm getting slower with old age. I'm glistening a lot. The overall impressions of the fairways, actually, they're quite soft. Don't see much run on the ball here, but absolutely pure, as Caddy Bazil told me yesterday. Absolutely pristine. It's credit to everybody, the green staff and everybody who's working on this Irish Open. The course is just in immaculate condition, and they deserve great weather and a great finish and a great tournament. There it is. That's what you're going for. I'm making the run, but who will be making this victory walk down here, 18 on Sunday? Now this course held the European Open from 1997 to 2005. Obviously in 2006 with the Ryder Cup coming up, they had to change the other course. But over the course of those European Opens, the winning score wasn't massively under par. I think Kenny Ferry, he was 3 under when he won in 2005. I think Darren won it, Lee Westwood won it a couple of times, but scoring wasn't very low. But everybody predicts, you know, with equipment changes and modern golfers, that it's going to be lower this year. It remains to be seen. Let's have a look at the green. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. My running tour of the 2016 Irish Open is done and dusted. I don't think it's even 9 o'clock yet. Killed 2 birds with the one stone, got the run done and had a good look at the course. Overall impression, credit to everybody involved in the tournament. It's in pristine condition, the course here. Fairways are very wide, rough is pretty much non-existent, it is really cut down. Greens are absolutely beautiful, not too fast, lots of give in them, players can aim at the pins. 3 under one here before. I think it's going to be a lower scoring event. Hopefully now Mother Nature will play her part and give us a good week. If you're in the area, make sure and come down and see Rory and the guys check out the 2016 Irish Open. Hope you enjoy it. I know I will. Doc, over and out.